everyone, Chris here, and welcome to my channel. As you can see by my setup, I'm playing Phase 10, Chooses My TBR. If you're new to my channel, Phase 10 is a card game that I have created a TBR game around. I will leave a link to the playlist below so you can check out the other videos if you want to get a gist of how the game is played, but it's pretty straightforward. So I am filming this on the 20th, and I still have a decent chunk of my TBR to go. But again, I have 10 days, so I'm still feeling hopeful that I can finish that. But the reason I'm filming it so early is because I want to participate in 4 readathons in the month of December, which, if all goes according to plan, you've seen the TBRs for, since they should have been out on my channel before this video went live. And it meant a lot of maneuvering. And I wanted to know how bad my Phase 10 TBR was going to be and what books I was going to be required to read, and to try to match those prompts to the prompts from the readathon as opposed to the other way around. So in addition to those readathons, I'm still doing Buzz Wordathon. And the theme for Buzz Wordathon in December is day or season. And I already know what book I'm going to read for this, because I have a short stack of books that I want to read in the month of December. So hopefully I can get all of those on my TBR. So I have a book picked out for this, and I'm hoping I can get it on my TBR. So if I can, you'll see that book when it comes up. If not, I will talk about it at the end. I think that's everything I needed to go over. And if I were to take punishments, I will probably sit down and add a clip on where I film, because what I do when I take punishments is I just draw a card and take a prompt. And it doesn't matter whether the card helps my phase or not. Like, I can't use the punishment cards to help my phase. If that is needed, you'll get another clip of me filming that after I'm done with this. But we're going to film my main TBR, and hopefully the deck will be kind to me, because I could use a slower month with required reads. Especially since, as I said, I'm planning on taking part in 4 readathons. But let's jump into the game. Draw number 1 is a yellow 5. Well, that's not going to help me complete my phase, because I'm still looking for green cards. And the prompt for yellow 5 is another booktuber's TBR. So I'm planning to talk about the books as I go, and since I have not seen any TBRs up yet, I have no idea what I will be reading for this, but I'm going to insert a picture here of the book I chose. Draw number 2 is a green, which means I've completed my phase. And if you don't know what that means, when I complete a phase, it means I have the ability to either A, completely skip a prompt, or B, swap. So like, if I pick a book for another booktuber's TBR and halfway through the month I'm not feeling that book, I can use my phase to swap to a different booktuber's TBR and pick a different book. Hopefully that makes sense. Most of the time when I've gotten this, I've either not used it or skipped, because it means I can just not have to read an extra book. But the possibility is always there, because I do read books that aren't on my TBR that, like, I just felt like reading anyways. So if that opportunity presents itself, I may use it that way, but we'll see. So let's see what I'm reading for prompt number 2, which has to be a yellow 4 because it's the only card I have left. And the prompt for yellow 4 is romance. So for romance, I'm going to go with The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. This says that Prince Sebastian is looking for a bride, or rather his parents are looking for one for him. Sebastian is too busy hiding his secret life from everyone. At nights he puts on daring dresses and takes Paris by storm as the fabulous Lady Crystalia, the hottest fashion icon in the world capital of fashion. Sebastian's secret weapon is his brilliant dressmaker Francis, his best friend and only one of 2 people who know the truth. Sometimes the boy wears dresses. But Francis dreams of greatness, and being someone's secret weapon means being a secret. Forever. How long can Francis defer her dreams to protect her friend? Jen Wang weaves an exuberantly romantic tale of identity, young love, art, and family. A fairy tale for any age, The Prince and the Dressmaker will steal your heart. So it sounds like it's going to have romance elements, and I'm calling that close enough in the romance department, because I don't read romance books very often, and I'm trying to work through my library TBR, and this is the only one I have out of my library right now that is even close to romance. So my TBR, my game, my rules, I'm counting it. Okay, so now that that phase is completed, I have to switch out the board, so I will be back with you in just a second. Okay, so as you can see, the board is set up for the next round. Phase 9 is a set of 5 and a set of 2. I'm obviously going to be going for 2s and 10s. These will be the cards that I discard. Let's hop back into the game. Draw number 3 is a green 1. I almost got excited there for a second because it was green, and then I remembered that I'm not doing that phase anymore. And the prompt for green 1 is 5-star prediction. For this, I'm going to read Return to Roar by Jenny McLaughlin, and the reason I'm choosing this one is, if memory serves, I gave the first book 5 stars. And even if I didn't, I really enjoyed it, so I think I will enjoy the second book a lot too. And this series, we're following Arthur and Rose, who had this made-up land that they used to visit when they were much younger, and they're at their grandfather's house, and they end up finding out that the land that they thought was make-believe actually isn't, and their grandfather gets taken there by the scary villain of their childhood, and they have to go after their grandfather and rescue him. Like I said, I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm going to say that I'm going to give the second book 5 stars, and I guess I will be finding out if that's true in the month of December. Draw 4 is a green 5. And the prompt for green 5 is animal main character. For this, I'm going to read Cat's Cafe, a comics collection. And this says, welcome to Cat's Cafe, a neighborhood coffee shop where all are welcome. Based on the popular webcomic, Cat's Cafe introduces readers to the adorable denizens of this world. There's Penguin, who has a bit of a coffee problem, Rabbit, whose anxiety sometimes overwhelms him, Axolotl, whose confidence inspires his friends, the always supportive cat who provides hot drinks made with love, and a supportive ear for anyone's troubles, and many, many more. With a sensitive take on real issues and a tender, positive outlook, Cat's Cafe is about the power of acceptance, friendship, and love, and delicious cups of coffee. And it looks like all of these animals are going to be involved, and it is a graphic novel, so if you take a quick peek in the first couple pages, it definitely looks like our characters are all animals, so that would fulfill the prompt for animal main character. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one, and graphic novel, and it's short, always handy. So I have a helper. This is Nagi. She's one of my old ladies. She's been staying in my room lately, and this is the first time she's been in here while I've filmed, and she's very curious as to what I am doing. Okay. Draw number 5 is a 10. I'm going to hang on to that. Put that there. And I think I'll keep the color theme up, and I will take a yellow 12. And the prompt for yellow 12 is poll pick. So this is another one where I will have no idea what I'm reading until after I put up the poll. So I will insert a picture here of the book that won the poll. Hopefully it's one I wanted on my TBR, because when I do polls, I always put in at least 1 or 2 books that I wasn't planning on reading. So I guess I'm going to have to wait and see. Hopefully everybody who votes is kind to me, even though they don't actually know what it is I want to read. Draw number 6 is a blue 5. And the prompt for blue 5 is last letter first. So this is another one that I can't film, because basically what it means is the last letter of the previous book is got to be the first letter of the next book that I choose. And until my poll pick is chosen, I can't actually choose this one. So I will be inserting another picture here. Yay? Boo? I don't know. I guess that's another one where I'm just going to have to wait and see. Draw number 7 is a blue 6. And the prompt for blue 6 is Scribd. Okay, I know what I'm going to use this one for. I'm going to listen to the Quillian Games, which is the 7th book in the Pendragon series. This was one of the series I hope to catch up on and complete by the end of 2021. And this is book 7 out of 10 in the main series, plus 3 companion novels. So I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get that goal, but I might as well get at least one more of them in the month of December. So in this series, we're following Bobby Pendragon, whose Uncle Press shows up one day and asks for his help. Bobby quickly agrees, but what Bobby doesn't realize is that the thing Press needs help with is essentially saving the universe. Bobby is then whisked to a whole nother world and finds out there's a lot more to the universe than he knew, and he will be battling the evil Saint Dane to protect not just the other worlds he encounters, but his own. I have been listening to the audiobooks on Scribd and really enjoying them, so I might as well stick book 7 on here and get at least a little closer to my goal, because you never know, maybe I will have a really good reading month, and at the end of the month I will be able to squeak in all of the books I haven't read yet. Draw 8 is a yellow 7. And the prompt for yellow 7 is odd page number. So the book I've chosen for this is The Secrets of Winterhouse by Ben Gutterson. This is the 2nd book in the Winterhouse trilogy. And this book clocks in at 371 pages. Let me see if I can get you guys a look at that. 371. Definitely an odd number of pages. I am planning on reading books 2 and 3 in the month of December, so I might as well stick it on my TBR. And the Buzzwordathon prompt was season, and the word winter is in the title, so this covers my Buzzwordathon prompt. This series was one I really, really enjoyed when I read it the first time, and I'm excited to be doing a reread where I get to read the books a little closer together, because I find that series stories, if you can, the closer together you read them, the more enjoyable the overall story is, just because all of the details stay fresh in your mind. So I am really looking forward to getting through my reread, and I'm really excited that I managed to get this on my TBR. 1, because I was going to read it anyways, and 2, because it's my Buzzwordathon prompt. Draw number 9. Of course, it's a wild. We'll get back to that. Having completed that phase is going to come in real handy, I think. Let's try this again. Draw number 9, part 2. Is another wild. Of course it is. Isn't that just lovely? Take 3. Hopefully with better results. Please don't be another wild. Draw number 9, part 3. Is a green 4. I'll take it. I'd take anything that isn't a wild at this point. And the prompt for green 4 is dad pick. Again, another one where I'm going to be inserting a picture to show you which book my dad picked. It's right here. And, well, like with all of my other picks, I will probably be picking books that are on my TBR, but I may also include at least one that isn't, because I like to challenge myself. So let's hope that my dad is really, really kind to me, even though he has no idea what's going to be on my TBR. And the last of my regular draws, draw number 10, is a yellow 8. And the prompt for yellow 8 is library book. Oh, whatever will I choose? It's not like I don't have an entire pile of library books. So I'm going to go with Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy by Ray Tercerio and Brie Indigo. And this is a Little Women retelling. And one of you is actually somebody I'm going to be buddy reading this with. You said you were going to be reading it in the month of December. And I was able to keep it from the library and get it on my TBR. So I am super excited to be reading this and to be reading it with one of you. And yeah, I'm also excited. Graphic novel. Should be a quicker read, which, given that I have 2 wilds, is probably going to come in really handy. So Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy is officially on my TBR. Okay, so we're going to do wild roll number 1. And I've got my die here, and hopefully it is kind to me. And I got a 2. 2. Okay. So for this wild, I have to draw 2 extra prompts, and hopefully none of them are wilds, because otherwise the cycle just continues. Wild 1, draw 1 is a red 4. And the prompt for red 4 is no people on the cover. For this, I'm going to read Willowdean by Catherine Applegate, and as you can see, no people. Animals, yes, but no people. It says, Willowdean adores creatures of all kinds, but her favorites are the most unlovable beasts in the land. Strange beasts known as screechers. The villagers of perchance call them pests, even monsters, but Willowdean believes the animals serve a vital role in the complicated web of nature. Lately, though, nature has seemed angry indeed. Perchance has been cursed with fires and mudslides, droughts and fevers, and even the annual migration of hummingbirds. A source of local pride and income has dwindled. For as long as anyone can remember, the tiny animals have overwintered in shimmering bubble nests perched atop blue willow trees, drawing tourists from far and wide. This year, however, not a single hummingbird has returned to perchance, and no one knows why. When a handmade birthday gift brings unexpected magic to Willowdean and her friend Connor, she's determined to speak up for the animals she loves, and perhaps even uncover the answers to the mystery of the missing hummingbirds. So Catherine Applegate is also the author of Crenshaw, which is a book I gave 5 stars to, so I'm really excited to be reading another book by them. And this cover is just so adorable that I'm like super excited to dive in and read it, so I'm not really all that fussed about having this on my TBR. Wild 1, draw 2 is a green 11. Okay, as long as it's not a wild, we're good. And the prompt for this is longest book on my TBR. I am going to make the executive decision that because it is Christmas time, I am not going to go with the longest book on my physical TBR because I know what book that is, and it is a really long, like 800 and some odd page historical fiction, and is not at all what I want to be reading in the month of December. So I had a pile of books that I wanted to read in December, so I'm going to pick the longest book that is on that. Again, my game, my TBR, my rules. Okay, and clocking in at 380, I have The Cottingley Secret by Hazel Gaynor. This is the longest book on my tentative TBR. It's the last of my fall covers, so I have to read it in December so that I can fill my fall cover wrap up. So basically I have no choice but to read this anyways, and like I said, I am not in the mood for an 800 and some odd page historical fiction this month, so I am overriding it and just going with the books that were already on my tentative TBR that I wanted to get to anyways. Because this is a fall cover, I'm going into it blind. I will link my fall covers video if you haven't watched it already, so you can find out what that's all about, but I will definitely be reading this in the month of December. Wild 2, let's get your roll underway. Also, again, please be kind. It was not. 6, the worst number I could get. I have to pull 6 more prompts. And with my luck, 2 of them will be wilds, because yay, 6. Oh, goody gumdrops. I'm so excited for this giant TBR. Oh, okay. Wild 2, draw 1. Say blue 7. Oops. You over here. You don't go up there yet. That's red. Blue 7. Please be nice. Please. And the prompt for blue 7 is start a series. So for start a series, I'm going to go with Starfire by Jennifer Lynn Alvarez. This is the first book in the Guardian Herd series. So this is a series about Pegasi, I believe, and it is a companion series to the Riders of the Realm series, which I don't know if they go in order, like whether it was this series and then that one, because I definitely think the events in this series take place first. But I read the Riders of the Realm series without really knowing that these were set in the same universe, so I might as well start this series and see what it's about. It says, once every 100 years, a black Pegasus foal is born, forever changing the 5 herds of flying horses that live in the land of Anak. For this foal will either unite or destroy the herds, and is fated to become the most powerful Pegasus in all of Anak. Star is this black foal. With malformed wings that make him unable to fly, Star seems harmless. However, the leaders of each herd will take no risks and will execute Star before the prophecy can take effect on his first birthday. With threats from all the herds and nowhere to hide, Star must rely on his friends, but it's his own strength that will surprise him no matter what the future may hold. I really enjoyed the Riders of the Realm So I'm hoping that there is no reason I won't enjoy this one as well. Though I can honestly say this was not on my December reading plans to start another series, but what can you do? Wild 2, Draw 2 is a blue 9. And the prompt for blue 9 is people on the cover. For this, I'm going to read The Guncle by Stephen Rowley. So this says, Patrick, or Gay Uncle Patrick, Gup for short, has always loved his niece Maisie and nephew Grant. That is, he loves spending time with them when they come out to Palm Springs for week-long visits or when he heads home to Connecticut for the holidays. But in terms of caretaking and relating to 2 children, no matter how adorable, Patrick is honestly overwhelmed. So when tragedy strikes and Maisie and Grant lose their mother and Patrick's brother has a health crisis of his own, Patrick finds himself suddenly taking on the role of primary guardian. Despite having a set of Guncle rules ready to go, Patrick has no idea what to expect, having spent years barely holding on after the loss of his great love, a somewhat stalled acting career, and a life that's not so suited to a 6 and 9-year-old. Quickly realizing that parenting, even if temporary, isn't solved with treats and jokes, Patrick opens his eyes to a new sense of responsibility and the realization that sometimes even being larger than life means you're unfailingly human. With humor and heart, The Guncle is a moving tribute to the power of love, patience, and family, and even the most trying of times. This is another one I've heard good things about, and there are, for sure, people on the cover, so guess I'll be getting into this one in December as well. Wild 2, Draw 3 is a red 6. And the prompt for red 6 is under 300 pages. So for this, I'm going to read A Kind of Spark by Elle McNichol, and this comes in at like 176 pages. And it says, ever since Miss Murphy told us about the witch trials that happened centuries ago right here in Juniper, I can't stop thinking about them. Those people weren't magic. They were like me. Different, like me. I'm autistic. I see things that others do not. I hear sounds that they can ignore. And sometimes I feel things all at once. I think about the witches now with no one to speak for them. Not everyone in our small town understands. Not Jenna, who used to be my best friend. Not Nina, my older sister. But if I keep trying, maybe someone will. I won't let the witches be forgotten because there is more to their story, just like there is more to mine. Another book I've heard fantastic things about, including from Jade from JD Ray Reads, who does not like contemporaries. And while, again, this book doesn't necessarily get like a 5-star rating from her because she doesn't like contemporaries, it is probably one of her favorite contemporaries that she's read. So if she's speaking that highly of a genre that she really doesn't read because it's not her favorite thing, then I am really looking forward to checking this book out because I do enjoy a good contemporary. So very curious to finally get to this book. I've wanted to read it since Believe-a-thon last year, and my library didn't have it because I don't think it was released in the States at that point. So I am very, very excited to be picking up this book in December. Wild 2, Draw 4 is a yellow 1. And the prompt for yellow 1 is fire on the cover or in the title. So the book I will be reading for this prompt is Flash Fire by TJ Klune, and there's the word fire. This is the sequel to The Extraordinaries, and I really, really enjoyed The Extraordinaries, and I really have enjoyed all of the books I've read by TJ Klune, so absolutely no problem having this book on my TBR. And again, another library book, getting through that giant pile of library books that are eventually going to become overdue, which has screwed me the past few months, so I'm trying to get as many of my library books on there as I can, so I can clear some of that out. So definitely happy with this book being chosen. Wild 2, Draw 5 is a red 5. And the prompt for red 5 is middle grade. Another really easy one, I'm going to go with The Hungry Ghost by Miguel Flores. It says, witches have been banned from Arette for years, which is why Millie has tried to ignore the tingling light that appears in her palm anytime she conjures up a wish. She has too many responsibilities as the oldest girl at St. George's Home for Wayward Girls to get caught up in magics. Sweet, quirky Scylla, though, has always longed for that power, even if it could be dangerous for her. Millie has always kept an eye out for her, but then, in a case of mistaken identity, Scylla is kidnapped by an angry, exiled witch who believes she's the one with magics, not Millie. Desperate to bring Scylla back to St. George's, Millie sets out to find her with a sarcastic young wind stuck in the form of a cat as her companion. Along the way, they meet an independent young broomstick and a gentle giant in a whole world Millie has never seen before. As she searches high and low for Scylla, one thing becomes clear. She'll have to face the stirrings of forbidden magics inside herself in order to rescue the friend who has become more like a sister. So I think this cover is just super cool, and it sounds like a very interesting book, and it's middle grade, and it's from the library, so another book I'm really excited to have on my TBR, and would probably have gotten to in December anyways, because again, library book. And what is hopefully my final draw, Wild 2 Draw 6, is a red 8. Now, as long as I get through my TBR, this will be the end of my draws for this month, so please let me not come back to talk to you. My final prompt, hopefully, very final for this month, is colorful cover. And for colorful cover, I'm going for Claws for Alarm by Kate Conti. As you can see, there's, on this beach ball, a bunch of colors, but there's colors all over this cover. So I'm going to go with this one. I think this is the 7th book in the Cat Cafe Mystery series. And in this series, we're following Maddie, who in the first book has returned to her island hometown to go to her grandmother's funeral and gets roped into a murder mystery that involves her grandfather and stays to help clear his name, and then ends up moving back to the island where she's from. I have absolutely adored this series, and I'm really excited to be reading the next book in it. And this is one I had to get to this month anyways, because I believe it is due back on like the 3rd of December, and I have no more renewals. So top priority will probably be the first book I read in the month, but was definitely going to be reading it anyway, so I might as well stick it on my TBR. So, unless I have to come back to you with more books, which I really hope I don't, all of a sudden the books that are on my Phase 10 TBR from last month have become priorities. That is my TBR, an insane stack that I'm not even going to try lifting up, especially considering it's missing a bunch of books. So, yeah. Wish me luck for the month of December. I am probably going to need it, and thankfully, I have that skip/swap that I can use at some point. Let me know in the comment section below what you're reading in the month of December, and if you would like to buddy read any of the books I've mentioned with me, I am always down for good buddy read. I have a Discord, which is linked in the description below, so if you want to come check that out and chat with me about books or whatever, hop in there and I will totally be down to chat with you. If you've made it this far in the video, leave me holiday-themed emojis since it is the month of December. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!